it's pretty much impossible to be able to balance it all out yourself.
So would you be fueling during a 5K?
I think this will probably get a little bit of a stick from the running world.
How do you go from a, 17 and a half, 18-minute 5K down to, call it a 15-minute 5K, still nowhere near you? What changes can you make to your routine to shave minutes off your 5K time?
It's something that comes up a lot. I'll get a lot of messages and emails and stuff from kids, and then some older athletes that kind of want to know what it is. But the thing is about running is it's so overwhelming with information. Like you have, your heart rate, you got your zones, you've got, you got the nutrition coming in, you've got shoes, you've got workouts, you've got all this stuff going on, where someone coming in that doesn't have like an awesome knowledge of all of that, like it's pretty much impossible to be able to balance it all out yourself. And so I wouldn't be able to do it without a coach. And so my biggest thing is I offload all that kind of information to a set of people, and I just need to worry about turning up and doing what I'm told. It's like, if you want to really try and take a chunk off your 5K, do a hard like 6-8 week block and taper into the 5K. So I think, that's what we do. I think shoes make a huge difference. I wouldn't be able to run anywhere near the times per lap, per kilometer, if I had the wrong shoes on. We have obviously slower shoes, we have carbon shoes, we have spikes that we kind of play around with throughout. And so between that and then nutrition, I don't go 15 minutes of a workout without taking on some sort of nutrition.
15, you say?
So 15, yeah.
Is that to keep your glycogen levels topped up?
Yes.
So
it's less even to do with the energy of it. It's more to do with coming out of it not feeling absolutely depleted, and then also having to rebuild that back up so that you can actually start to recover. And so it's everything.
So would you be fueling during a 5K?
Yes. Well, if my nutritionist was in full control, yes, I would be taking a gel in a 5K. I have not taken a gel in a 5K, but I also haven't run a 5K in about 2.5 years. And so more recently, we've been taking nutrition a lot more seriously. You won't really see that. And I think this will probably get a little bit of a stick from the running world, because there's a lot of people that won't even take stuff in half marathons. And they're like, oh, you don't need anything in a half marathon. But when you really break it down and you even watch, Kipchoge's sub 2, when you're working at the highest rate, I think he was taking it every 5K, which means, that's every 14 something minutes, every 13 high, something like that. It makes a huge difference.
It's also quite a logical thing, isn't it? I've never done that. I've ran many marathons. I've never taken a gel. That for me was a real game changer, that like never actually hitting the wall, because there's no reason for your body to hit the wall, because you have a sustainable carb source throughout the run. You get tired, obviously, and your legs might slow down a bit, but you never actually hit what people describe as runner's wall, because there's really no reason for you to. That, as I understand it, is your carb source depletes to the point where your body switches to start to burn fat, and that process whilst you're running it is quite a tough thing to manage. And so people describe it as hitting a wall, because physiologically you're going through something that's quite potent, I suppose, for your body whilst you're exercising. And that's what hitting the wall is. So I found all that really interesting. And let me tell you something, these gels were nothing short of life-saving. It was like proper stuff,
Yeah, so our biggest thing as well, like obviously I don't run that long a distance, but it's the same concept of the hitting the wall. And so the way that me and my nutritionist talk about it, and he has a great analogy with it, is like, your lizard brain doesn't know how long you're going to be running. And so its goal is to be like, hey, we've not got much energy left, so we're just going to slow everything down and start shutting things down. So the biggest thing and the biggest goal for that is we're going to keep telling him, like, we're going to keep writing them checks so that he can keep sending them out. So like taking a gel in for your lizard brain is like, oh, okay, we're getting backup fuel. So the legs can just keep writing checks. You're going to so that's what we do for workouts. It's like, if we're all out sprinting, I can even rinse my mouth out with like, some sort of energy drink, some sort of sugar drink, and just spit it out. And there's some research that's shown that like that's enough for the lizard brain to be like, okay, like we're still good. We don't need to make sure that we're going to slow down because we're going to pass out, or our body's going to break. But it's just the kind of balancing, telling your brain like, hey, we're good. Sugar's coming in, stuff's coming in. We can keep writing those checks. So that's kind of the way that we look at it. And I think it's the same in any distance. If you can even rinse your mouth out with something, even if you have a bad stomach, if you rinse your mouth out, I think it can make a big difference.
Sleep is the most impactful and natural performance-enhancing tool at our disposal. Without it, my body would simply not be able to recover and repair itself after I go for a run or a workout. It is essential to maintaining and enhancing our well-being. With Whoop, I'm able to track my sleep every single night and how it affects the type of activities I choose to do the following day. Think of sleep as your bank balance. The best thing is that every single day you get the chance to deposit more into the bank so that in the long term, you withdraw in the form of energy expenditure when you need it most. Whoop breaks down sleep so as to take the guesswork out of the equation. Not only do you get guidance each day around how much sleep you need based on your activity that day and what your optimal time to go to bed is, but with Whoop, you get a detailed analysis of the quality of your sleep and what you can do to be improving it. In addition to monitoring your sleep, you'll also get detailed insights into your recovery, stress levels, strain, and feedback on how your lifestyle choices impact each of these metrics. If you are interested in taking control of your health and wellness so that you can excel in all aspects of your life, you have to go and check out Whoop. Go to join.whoop.com/untapped to try Whoop for free for 30 days today.
Let's get into some specifics. I'd love to know more about your mindset, how you think, how you present yourself to yourself, essentially. Like, you're on the start line of the Olympic finals. It's a moment you've prepared for 4 years. You know that the world is watching you and there is a load of pressure. The whole country wants you to win. Are you wasting energy with the emotion that is flowing through your head?
We, as athletes, anyone that's done kind of a race or, a big sporting event, there's always going to be nerves. That's something that needs to be expected. And so I actually take a gel before the line, just to rinse that one in there.
Go. But good old gel.
For me, I'm really built for those moments. Like I train for those moments. I don't train to get better at training. I probably spend more time thinking about those moments than any other ones. And it's I practice standing on the start line for 5 minutes. I practice the, introduction. I practice what I would do and where my brain would pivot to during those moments. And, it can always go to, I don't feel great or I'm tired or whatever, but I would always bring it back to, my daily mantras, or if it's, trying to simplify my mind. But I was so excited. I think what people maybe don't quite understand when you're in the stadium is it feels like a whole different world to like sitting in the stands. When you're down here and you're in your zone and you're going through your process, you're very, very present. And if you can stay present and you don't kind of get carried away with, 70,000 people in the stadium cheering and a whole country behind you, you can't affect that outcome in any other place than the right now. And so I just go through my processes. I'm great at what I do. And so I just trust myself, to be honest. That's mostly what I say on the start line to myself, is just trust your instincts, trust yourself, and this is going to hurt a lot. And so I enjoy that part.